Hola amigos, this is level 12 and today we are going to be finding the anime tropes in Hetalia. Now, a couple quick things before I get on with the list. I used a little bit from my knowledge and a little bit from an image I'll link down below called Anime Tropes Bingo. It was really cute and really helpful and helped me think about some things I didn't even think about. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. But also last night, well, night for me, probably morning for her, a YouTuber I really admire, Hetalia. I'll leave her channel in the description below and probably put a card to her channel somewhere. But she commented on one of my videos and it made me really happy. And even though the comment was technically correcting something that I made a big mistake on, but then later saying it was a decent video in the end, really made me happy, and I cried myself to sleep out of joy last night. So I just wanted to give a really big thanks to her because she's one of my main reasons why I make Hetalia videos. Anyways, one of the big tropes in anime and one of the reasons why a lot of people dislike it is the big breast trope. Now, Ukraine originally was supposed to have a normal chest, however Hema drew it bigger and put some sound effects by it, and so now Ukraine is forever cursed with these giant boobs. I feel really bad for the Ukraine because I looked up an image of her because I needed a reference image of her hair, and then all my friends could not get off of me about, like, Leon, why are you looking that up? Leon, get off of that. Because it was during art class and we're allowed to have our phones out, and I needed her hairline because I was using it for an OC, and then everyone just got on me about her breast when I wasn't even looking at that. I'm like, I need her hairline! Ugh! Next is the trap / cross-dresser character. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call Poland a trap because when we first see him, I'm pretty sure we know he's a dude. It's later that we find out that he enjoys dressing as a girl. But anyway, he's still the lovely cross-dresser of Hetalia, and he is fabulous. Because we all love him. Well, I do anyways. I don't know about y'all. But yeah, he will occasionally put on a skirt like cross-dressing characters tend to do. When I think of a trap character, I think of someone who purposely, or in the Curse of Baka no Test, accidentally looks like a girl but doesn't, or a guy, depending on who you are, but doesn't do much to fix that about what people think about him. And he isn't 24/7 in a skirt and dress, so I wouldn't necessarily call him a trap. But traditional traps usually look like the gender they are not, mostly 24/7, and Poland does not. Next we have tsunderes, which are characters that I hate, however Romano has grown on me. England has not. I still dislike England a little bit, but Romano has grown on me, which will come in a later video. Hopefully before school starts. That's a scary thought to think about. But anyways, tsunderes are these characters that do not like, or rather they like the main character except they can't show it, and the way they do show it is they show physical aggression to the main character or the character that they like, which is very counterproductive. But in most animes, the main character or the character they like doesn't really seem to mind, which is slightly annoying. I'm like, normal people don't act like this. But Romano is the tsundere to only Spain, and England is a tsundere to the people he's trying to make alliances, like with Germany and Japan. Japan literally said England's tsundere's levels were off the charts. I want a radar that says how tsundere someone is. That seems like a fun thing to have. Next is the yandere. Belarus still scares the crap out of me, however, she is also a character that has grown on me. I'm understanding her character better, and also she looks really pretty. That might not be a good reason to like a character, but it's my reasoning. Anyways, Belarus, she is a yandere for Russia and threatens anyone that gets close to him. Hence why she dislikes the Baltics, because they're really close, quotation marks, to her brother, and she is not. I feel like she especially hates Lithuania because Russia kind of, quotes again, dotes on Lithuania and doesn't do much with Belarus because Russia is scared of Belarus. When a country is scared of another country, especially a country like Russia, you better get the heck out of Dodge. Next is the bland anime protagonist. Now, Hema did not originally design, well, his intention was to not have Japan become a big character in Hetalia like he did, which is kind of weird in my mind because Japan was one of the only three Axis powers, so to have a complete World War II, you would need that third Axis power, or it's like 1/3 of the Axises are missing. But anyways, his intention for Japan was, the reason he is so plain was because Japan was not meant to be a big character. That's kind of why, I was looking through characters to put on this list, and I clicked on Cyprus because I didn't know much about him. It turned out that I did see him in the anime, but I confused him with Greece, which made me feel like an idiot, but also, like, come on, Hema, please come up with better designs. Like, literally, Switzerland is Poland with bangs. But I kind of feel like the bland anime protagonist works with Japan because it A, plays on that trope, and B, Japan is a character that, while we know much about, it isn't much about going outside. We know he's an otaku. We know he can cook. We know he can clean. We know he's very much the polite Japanese stereotype, and it works with how he looks. If he was a flamboyant anime character like we see in a bunch of other animes, then that would kind of deter from what Hema tries to portray in this anime. Like, Germany is very stern because Germany is a very big country. Another country he portrays really well is America because we're very loud. And then England, he misses being a pirate, he misses being his imperialness, which I'm pretty sure Britain is very sore about still, and just so on and so forth. Some country he portrays very well, others not so much. Next is the NEAT. Now, originally I had Switzerland on here because Switzerland is a hermit, and I'm like, well, technically you can be a hermit, but don't have to be a NEAT. You can work from home, which is not what Prussia does. A NEAT stands for not in education, employment, or training. Sorry. And, don't drink something soda-like before you do a video. He is no longer a country. However, most would claim, yes, he is. He's East Germany. But that only works during Soviet Union time when East and West Germany were two separate countries. Now, I know East and West Germany are two very, very different places, much like North and South America. Well, North and South United States, because the northern part of the United States is way different from where I live. But technically, he still isn't a country. He doesn't have his own people. People don't speak his language. People don't have a Prussian flag in their house. Some East Germans still have the East German flag from Soviet Union times, and some East Germans even do claim they are Prussian. However, Prussia himself has no physical land that he can claim as himself. And I'm pretty sure East Germany, I keep on forgetting life because the Cold War was never one of my favorite things to learn about if it didn't involve physical Russia itself. East Germany probably cannot, like, make alliances for itself without having to involve West Germany. Yeah. Next is the perverted character, which is France. Now, I feel like anyone from the Bad Touch trio could have made it onto this list. However, I don't really see Gilbert going after girls as much as I see Spain or France, and then we see France naked more times than we see Spain, so France is the obvious biggest pervert in the group. Now, some will argue he's just a lovelorn maniac. However, when Greece mentions how the original Olympics, like a passing little casual fact, were completely naked, France strips and then England arrests him. He's also been noted to grope Seychelles multiple times, much to her dislike. And he also flirts with everyone. Also, when you have an entire episode dedicated to you about wooing the girl, the Joan of Arc episode, you're probably a pervert, or at least a player. So France really lives up that perverted anime character in a very comical, and a very how people think of French people, which it's very sad, but it's very funny. Anyways, the next slide, the Shota / the lolly angle. Now, who we have on screen is not who is just the Shotas and the lollies. This is just the ones I wanted to put on screen because these are my favorites. So a Shota or a lolly is someone who has not gone through the pubertal stages of life, which you may be wondering, well, why is Latvia on here? Well, Latvia is very short, and I thought he was 12 when I first saw him, but he is apparently 15. Other people that could have been on this list is Ladonia, Kogomogel, and Moldova. Oh, and frick, I hate this nation's name, or micronations. The Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. That guy could have also been on here. Yes, I got his name right. I feel happy. I feel nice. But the people who are on this list is Sealand, Y, and Latvia. These, and the ones I have previously mentioned, are all characters who have yet to show up in the stages of puberty. And why these characters are in anime is because people have fetishes, and that is alright with them. They can do them. But also I did not know Moldova was 6. I knew he was very young because the country of Moldova is sadly very poor. I did not know he was like 6 or 5. Someone pointed that out to me in a comment. I'm like, oh, well, I knew he was young. I didn't know he was that young. Which makes me kind of laugh because Sealand is technically 12. And a country that looks younger than him is still a country yet very, very poor. Next is the childhood friend. And here is where I may cry. Because it's not... So let me explain this slide before I explain to you why I almost cried. Well, did cry doing this slide. So, the Holy Roman Empire and Hetalia were best friends back in Austria's house. However, the Holy Roman Empire had to go fight, I'm pretty sure it was the Napoleonic Wars, ripping him away from Hetalia. And Italy, as an adult, does not remember Holy Roman Empire very well, and Germany does not know Italy at all, even though technically Germany and the Holy Roman Empire aren't the same person, they just share the same body, but whatever. And they are the childhood friends in Hetalia, and it's very sad to see that no one remembers anything about this. Like, no one mentions it in the future, and it makes me really confused and really worried for why no one is mentioning it, and it puts me in a small sense of unease. But these two were best friends back as kids, and it's really sad to see that just kind of go into the shadows and act like it never happened. Now, the reason I cried during this slide was not because the thing between Holy Roman Empire and Hetalia was really sad, which it did. In the anime, I cried when they left each other, and in the webcomic when Italy gave Holy Roman Empires his bloomers. But what made me cry was seeing all the fan art of Prussia and Holy Roman Empire together, and it made me realize how much these characters probably cared for each other, and now Prussia has to see Holy Roman Empire's body be taken over by Germany. Probably remember everything that happened with Holy Roman Empire, and it just made me start to cry, and I'm just like, Hetalia is so sad. Like, if you knew the historical context of these countries, it would be really sad. Which is what we're getting into. Tragic backstory. Now, as I said before, a lot of countries have had a hard time, but one of the big tragic backstories that is hinted at and is really dominant in a character's personality was Russia's tragic backstory. Now, Russia's first, one of the big things I would like to point out is Russia's first and final Tsar. The first Tsar original name was Ivan the Great, however, after he murdered over 300 people, his name was turned to Ivan the Terrible. And Russia's last Tsar, Tsar Nicholas II, was not a very smart or good leader. He did not pay attention to what his subjects wanted, and a bunch of them ended up trampled on it was either the eve, I'm pretty sure it was his daughter's first birth, or or when he was officially crowned Tsar, because they have a year of grieving before he can be crowned Tsar. But a bunch of people died during a celebration he hosted because they were afraid they weren't going to get their gifts once they traveled a very long place for. Just, Russia has not had a good time with who its leaders is, and I know a lot of countries, they don't have good leaders, but it has affected Russia in a way where he has become psychotic without him knowing it. Other countries have not. So when your history makes your psychology really messed up like Russia, you earn the spot of having a very, very tragic backstory. On a lighter note, fan service. Fan service is this thing in anime and manga where dudes, or mostly chicks, show off the breast or their butt or their abs. In this case, abs and shirtless dudes. And I tried not to pick fan art because fan art can be anything. So I tried to pick official HEMA art. And so the first one I have up here is on the April Fool's Day, and of course France is pretty sure he's naked. And then we have Russia, who I had to cut some of his picture off, who was completely naked. And now we have Latvia on here at the end. Now I'm not 100% certain if this is official HEMA art. I just wanted a shirtless Latvia on here. Hetalia is very... Since there's mostly dudes in this show, and I will make a video about all the female characters later, again, hopefully before school starts. I plan on making... I have so many video ideas I want to do before school starts. It's mostly a bunch of shirtless dudes, which is why Hetalia is mostly for girls, or is probably off-putting to guys, because it is a bunch of cute dudes doing cute things. But that's besides the point. The fan service in Hetalia isn't too overbearing, however, and by that I mean most of the guys aren't shirtless, just through the episode you have a bunch of cute bishy dudes to look at. Like, that's the show, basically. Next we have the Emoto trope, which is, means little sister. Now, I picked people that were current little sisters, and I made sure all of China's little goons did not call him Big Brother. And so none of China's goons are in this part of the list. But anyways, the ones I did put on here were Belgium, who I kind of struggled to put on the list because Belgium is the middle child of Netherlands and Luxembourg, and the older one is Netherlands. I was like, well, technically she's not the littlest little sister out there, but then I'm like, she still calls Netherlands Big Brother, so I guess she gets a pass. And then Belarus is the youngest sibling of Ukraine and Russia, and she often... I don't think she ever calls Ukraine Big Sister in the anime or the manga or the comics, but I know she calls Russia Big Brother very, very often, and oftentimes it follows, like, sign the marriage papers, because Belarus is crazy. And then finally we have my favorite little sister in Hetalia, which is Liechtenstein. She is the little sister of Switzerland, and it's so cute. Switzerland saved her, and then she started calling him Big Brother, and then she dresses like him when she's not in her cute little dress. It's just, I'm overwhelmed by the cuteness of Liechtenstein. And now we have the flip side of the coin, which are the Oni-chans, which are the Big Brothers. Now, there are a lot of Big Brothers in Hetalia because most of the countries are male and they have taken over other countries. One that I wish I had put on here, which is the Netherlands, because he is the Big Brother to Belgium and Luxembourg, but I did not put him on here. And there are a couple others that I didn't put on here, like I think one of the Nordics is a Big Brother, but I don't want to say who, because I don't want to be wrong and people get mad at me in the comments. But I know all of these people are Big Brothers. So the first one we have is Switzerland, and as stated before, he's the Big Brother of Liechtenstein because he saved her from starving, which was very nice of him. Next we have England, who is the Big Brother to a lot of other nations, which include, but are not limited to, Canada, America, Seychelles, Australia, Sealand, Seychelles, I said Seychelles already, frick, Egypt, and Hong Kong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the Big Brother to Hong Kong before he just pushed him back to China. And most of England's colonies did not turn out so well, and I'm counting America. England, I feel like was not a very... England doesn't know how to be a good Big Brother. He mostly leaves his colonies alone and taxes them to death, which is what he did to us, and which is what he did to a bunch of other colonies that eventually broke away after World War I or World War II, depending on how badly England was ruined, because after World War I, a lot of countries did lose the nations they had hold on because they did go into a depression. But definitely after World War II, when England realized it couldn't keep a hold on all the colonies that it had, it kind of released them very, very quickly, which was not smart, especially in the case of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. But that is just my personal opinion on England and how he doesn't know how to take care of his siblings. Next is France, who I don't think technically ever had a true little sister other than Seychelles, but he often I know English. He often asked countries to call him Big Brother, as Italy does, and he asked Joan of Arc to call him Big Brother, which was very, very weird, but the girl didn't mind. And I will argue that he was a Big Brother to Canada, because Canada has certain parts in it which speak French, which France at that time was one of the only countries that spoke French, so obviously France had some influence in Canada. I will argue to death that France is also related to Canada. Anyways, next we have Prussia, who is probably one of my favorite Big Brothers. He's the Big Brother to both Holy Roman Empire and Germany, and, well, technically Germany looks older than Prussia. Prussia is the oldest, and he's very kind to his brother, And I feel like Prussia would die for Germany, and Prussia would literally hope that when he does die, Germany inherits his land and his awesomeness. Quoted from Hema when asked a question about, is Prussia gonna die anytime soon? And also the cute little nickname he calls his brother, which is Vest, or West, technically, whatever. And finally, we have Russia, who makes it onto this list for the second time. Russia is a big brother to Belarus, but the middle child of all the Soviet siblings. He doesn't very much like Belarus because she's kind of insane, but I feel like if Belarus would just calm down with the marriage stuff for a while, Russia would be alright with her. But no, she's still pushing for that marriage, and Russia's still locking his door and begging her to go away. Anyways, that was it for this video. Please like and subscribe for more anime and otaku related content. I have so many videos planned that I want to get out before school starts, which is literally like 2 weeks away, which makes me sad. But anyways, I will try to have those videos out before school starts, because after school starts, I'm only going to be able to upload on Saturday, and I have about 5 videos planned, and I don't want to spread 5 video ideas over 5 weeks. That's just insane and unfair, even though technically I haven't been the best at uploading, but you catch my drift. I will try my hardest to get most of those ideas out before school starts, because even on Saturdays, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to post the videos, because usually on Friday, I work on the slides, and then on Saturday, I edit and upload, hopefully all before 12 o'clock, like I try to do now. I hope that works out. I will post a full video explaining how I'm going to be doing my schedule, if I can get my computer to work back there, because it hasn't been connected to the interwebs, which is also an issue I'm going to have trouble with. Anyways, that was it for this video. Ciao, chicos!